You are listening to Range Minded from Independence Indoor Shooting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to us from wherever you get your podcasts if you haven't already. Both your subscription and your feedback really does help us out a lot. This is episode 78 of Range Minded, which is part one of a two-part series from the Fall 2019 Independence Indoor Shooting Vendor Expo. In this first part, we catch up with some old guests, and we talk with some employees about why they love working in the firearms world. It's a great insight into the industry, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Thanks for listening to Range Minded, episode 78, the Independence Indoor Shooting Vendor Expo 2019, part 1. Hello and welcome to Range Minded from Independence Indoor Shooting live, actually.
You can tell the noise in the background. We are extremely live.
Yeah, and we are at the Vendor Expo fall of 2019 because we did one in the spring here at Independence, but we've got another one in the fall because the first one went so well. It's just after 9 o'clock in the morning and it's already pretty busy.
Yeah, you can hear it in the background. We just opened the doors about maybe 5 minutes ago, and it reminds me of the old... one of those old, what's that commercial? Shop covers, I'm open. And they open the doors and everybody comes in, man. It's crazy. So, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of vendors here. We're gonna get them on. We're gonna talk to some folks around the shop. Yeah. And a lot of folks running around today, and we'll see who we can get. Like Jared, the owner. There goes the owner walking with purpose.
He also, if you do come to the shop anytime soon, if you are a guy and you go to the bathroom, there's some pretty funny advertisements for Jared's side business as a urologist.
I think it's his official.
I know.
His first gig, not his side gig.
Right.
I don't know if you could even call that a side hustle, honestly.
No, that's his primary primary job, I guess you could say. But pretty funny. So, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on today. We'll talk to all kinds of vendors, some staff around here as well, anybody and everybody around. So you feel like you're part of the party. So
awesome.
We'll be back and have some folks with us.
Hells yeah.
All right, we're back with Range Minded from Independence Indoor Shooting, and we are with pretty much Mr. Independence himself, Ryan, the general manager, the guy who makes it run.
Hey, glad to be here.
Look, he's all words.
Yeah, he's all words. You may have seen Ryan walking around the shop, telling everybody what to do and trying to keep this place together. It's not easy being the GM, is it?
No, it's not at all.
It's like herding cats.
It's a labor of love with a lot of work.
Well, especially because today we got the Vendor Expo and there's a lot going on, right? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
We got over a dozen different vendors here, manufacturers in our industry, different firearm manufacturers. We got Vortex, Mossberg, Trojan Firearms, Maxim Defense, lots of different companies here that have come to represent those products. They brought demos. They're letting people shoot on the range with some of these products, and a lot of their products that they're here to represent, we actually have on sale in the store, so it's a pretty fun event.
Awesome, and it looks like there's some sales and stuff too, some member-only stuff going on as well.
Yeah, we really value our customers, our members here that come to the range and shoot with us regularly. We wanted to have our first annual membership appreciation day, and we took some of our best products in the store and we dramatically lowered their prices, and we have a lot of retired rental guns that we're selling to our members, so it's all exclusive to our membership here at Independence.
Yeah, I've seen those prices over there, and that's pretty good deal.
Yeah. I didn't know if they were the retired rental guns. If there's a CZ over there, I might have to walk over there and see what kind of damage I can do. Let's talk about.
You're not a member.
I'm an employee. Doesn't that trump member? No, sure doesn't. Let's talk about membership though for a minute, because we really haven't covered that. We've talked about shooting ranges in general and how to all kinds of different angles about it, but we haven't really talked about membership. Talk about some of the benefits of becoming a member of a shooting range and Independence specifically.
Well, I don't know if everybody thinks about shooting the way maybe I do and some of our regular customers do, but it's a sport.
For sure.
It's not just it doesn't have to be just a recreational thing, but you can actually compete and hone your skills and get really good at it. And we have several different membership options for our members that want to come on a regular basis, that to some degree treat shooting like a sport. And to make it more affordable, we just have a monthly membership or an annual membership that allows them to do that. So they can frequent the range as much as they'd like, work on their skills, work on being able to better protect themselves, and to compete in their sport or whatever they may do. prepare for hunting, different things like that, and do that through our membership program.
Yeah, even if you shoot regularly, it does end up paying for itself, where you don't have to, you can just walk in, you can get a spot on the range, you don't have to worry about paying for it because you already have.
Yeah.
So
you get a little key tag, you scan it at our front desk, and then we get you right on the range.
Yeah, very cool. And there's also deals that go on, and I think you get some perks on classes too, right?
Yeah, you get a few discounts depending on the membership. A lot of them come with a free gun cleaning, an annual firearm inspection, guest passes for your friends if you want to bring them in. Again, access to the range is unlimited, and then there's a few other benefits that go along with that.
Awesome. So tell me, what is your favorite part about running a gun shop? I know there's probably a lot of headaches and a lot of, like Steve said, herding cats, but...
my biggest love for what I do, honestly, is the benefit I feel like I'm trying to offer to our community and to our rights. I think that's what gives me the drive to do what I do every day. When I can help somebody who feels like their life's in danger and help them feel like they can do something to protect themselves, that gives me the warm fuzzies and helps me enjoy what I do here. And I love working with the people in our industry. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool people in the industry, and that's kind of the goal of our podcast too, with Independence, is to educate and dispel some myths and help people better protect themselves and give them the knowledge to be able to do that. So
yeah, because it really does come with some responsibilities, but being a patron of the Second Amendment, it's freedom incarnate. I mean, you are expressing your freedom every time you come here and shoot.
Yeah, and what better place to be than right here? So
absolutely.
Cool. Well, we'll let you off easy this time, Ryan. We'll have a full-blown Ryan GM How to Run a Gun Shop episode down the road.
I can't give away my trade secrets, man. Come on.
Well, thanks for coming on, and come out and see Ryan. And
it wasn't so bad, was it, Ryan?
Nah. We'll have him on again, and we'll do an episode just for you. So cool. Thank you, sir.
Ready or not.
We'll be back. All right, we are back with another guest here at the Vendor Expo with range-minded and Independence Indoor Shooting.
That's right. We have a special guest, actually one of our best customers. He's done some other stuff for us too. Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Stephen Bagden. I moved to Boise about 2.5 years ago, found Independence about 2 months after that, and I've kind of been a fixture here.
Where did you move from, Steve?
I'm not supposed to say.
An undisclosed location.
I moved from California, but I only lived there for a while. I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
I'm a Vermonter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I admit it. My name's Steven, and I have a gun problem.
I think we all do, being here.
Yeah, well, I blame mine on Steve.
We make a pill for that.
Yeah,
really?
I blame mine on Steve Zimmerman here. He, the first time I ever called this place, I said, I'm on oxygen, and I need oxygen to live. So I said, can I come shooting when I'm on oxygen? And he came back. He goes, as long as you don't put a round through the tank, we're fine with it.
Yeah.
And I came in, and him and I became very good friends very quickly, and he kept feeding my addiction.
Yeah, and now you're a social media kingpin. Now you're working on it, right?
Well, I was an IT consultant for 40 years of my life, so computers aren't really foreign to me.
Sure.
But I started a group called Custom 1911 Owners, and it's for basically anybody who's a 1911 owner who wants to talk about 1911s. And I've really fallen in love with the 1911s. I have here with me a custom one that it was my first custom. Steve custom made the grips for me, and the gun is just a really special Rock Island, but it's been custom Cerakoted. All the parts have been polished. It's just a special gun, and I'm kind of addicted to 1911s at this point. I have
it's such a great gun.
Well, yeah. I have a 380 Rock Island, the Baby Rock. I have the one that does 22 TCM and 9mm. That was your fault.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I have the single stack here, and then I also just bought a 22.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so...
You caught 1911 fever.
Well, it started with Glocks, and I got
it started with Ruger. Remember, my first gun I bought from you was that LCP that I ended up selling.
Holy cow. That was a while
I found
ago.
the receipt for it. It was 2017. It was like July or August.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was just a roller coaster from there.
I got rid of all the cheap guns I bought at the beginning, and I have nothing but good guns
Been
now.
upgrading ever since, yeah.
I just got my hands on the first gun I ever bought. I had 2 friends in California, one who's passed away, and we used to go shooting, and they're like, you can't shoot with this ammo unless you buy your own gun. So they drove me down to B&B Guns in North Hollywood, which isn't there anymore. But
Sure.
anybody who remembers the North Hollywood bank robbery, that's where they went to get the guns.
Oh, wow.
So we went in, and I ended up buying a Browning BL-22. It's called the Grade 2. It has custom engraving, custom checkering, real walnut stock. It's a 1983 vintage. It's in mint condition.
Great looking gun. I was
It's a
looking at it
really
yesterday.
special gun. I'll never let it out of my sight again.
Yeah, awesome, man. Very cool. Yeah, and we got your custom 1911 here. Speaks to the skill of the gunsmiths here.
Yeah, I'm not a handy guy. I can fix. I was a computer guy. There's nothing I really can't do with a computer. But when it comes to mechanical things like guns, that's why they make good gunsmiths. And here at Independence Indoor Shooting are the gunsmiths. I mean, basically Jeff. I wouldn't trust my guns to anybody but Jeff and Cody, who used to be one of the gunsmiths here. They're the only 2 people that I would ever let touch my guns.
Yeah. It's you got to have that mechanical mind. It's really, you got to be wired a certain way to be a great gunsmith.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Jeff, I think we've touched on him before. He worked for NASA and he's done all sorts of stuff. He's an intellect, and sometimes people think of him as grumpy or kind of off. It's just the way his mind works. He's not super
focused.
social.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's effective with his hands.
Oh, he's the best. I mean, he custom mixed those Cerakote colors for my gun. Those are all custom colors. None of those are stock. So
yeah, and that's the crazy thing too, is that it's like a Cerakote like artist. You know, there's a real art to doing it. There's a process, but there's kind of an art to doing it with the colors and everything.
You know, I got to say, Independence Indoor though has become more than just a shooting range or a gun shop or a gunsmith or an academy for me. It's become part of my family. I come here. I try to come 2-3 times a week because it gets me out of the house, being on oxygen and everything. Sometimes I just get up and I'll just sit here. But no, I force myself. I come here. I'm friends with everybody that works here. Steve and I have become very friendly, very close. When he moved back the other side of Idaho, it upset me, but we still talk on a regular basis. Whenever he comes down, we get together.
Yeah, I've learned to forgive him for that too.
I'm trying to.
He did it for his family. I can't fault him for that. Family is family.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me Stephen Bagden on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can also find me on Custom 1911 Owners.
Yeah.
And it's not a question. You just ask to be a member and you'll get approved, as long as you're of age and a decent human being.
Yeah.
Man,
And
I might have.
in 7 weeks, we've gone from 0 members to almost 1,500. And it's a really great group because nobody's in there flaming or swearing or telling you you're wrong or you're an idiot. Everybody's in there saying, this is, like I put up a question. I was thinking about buying a gun. I'm not going to mention the manufacturer because I was told not to buy it. The gunsmith said if you buy it, I won't work on it.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't buy it, and then I put it up on this site, and the conversation was great. Yeah, they used to make great guns, but now they put their money in advertising. And,
Sure.
You made a good decision not to buy it. And just the people, and a lot of my friends have become members, and Steve was one of the founding members, and Cody was one of the founding members.
Awesome, yeah.
It's just a great place.
Well, in 1911s, I feel like you're like ARs. Like you can customize it to exactly how you want it, all the parts, all the pieces, all the.
Here.
I was going to say we've got Steve's. Tell us about your custom 1911.
I guess while we're on the
Steve.
topic of 1911. So most people think of me as just a Tupperware guy, and I do love my Glocks. I love polymer guns, but this 1911 I started almost 2 years ago.
I remember.
And it's completely hand fit. Like and if you guys have ever built a 1911 out there, you understand what it is. It's a lot of time fitting a gun.
Hand polished every part.
Yep. And then once I got that all hand fit and where I wanted it, I jumped on the custom Cerakote stuff and
then he had to re-break it in because the tolerances
everything was so
were gone.
tight because it was perfect before I Cerakoted it. And once you get that Cerakote on there, all my tolerances changed again. But,
but you sat there and racked it probably 100 times yesterday. I watched you just walking around the shop.
Just getting it, getting it all broken in.
Did you take it down last night?
No, it's still filthy. And
so you can't shoot it?
No, not yet. But I did the Cerakote myself. A lot of people ask if Jeff did it or no. I did it all.
I know you did it yourself because you took your time. You didn't rush through it.
It took forever.
Well, and it's modeled after a World War II plane, right?
Yeah, if you guys Google the old Crow P-51
Mustang,
Mustang, yeah, that was my inspiration on this project.
It's a beautiful gun. I mean,
like I say, it's not perfect.
Mine's
but
what you
it's
call
mine.
a basic custom job. His is what you call oh my God, custom job.
Well, I think Steve's mantra is if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
So-
well,
It was fun though. I'd do it again.
but I still blame him because, I pay my rent, I pay my bills, I put groceries in the fridge, and then I spend the rest of my money on guns.
Really, it's just down to ramen. 'Cause
Yeah, right.
I don't eat ramen, but thank you.
Man,
You
yeah,
can
it's-
tell, I know this is radio, but I'm a large mammal, so
Comfortable.
Yeah, it's been on my
Comfortable.
bucket list to build a 1911, so I might have to jump on that train and
I'm
see.
going to build a custom 1911, buy the parts, and hand them to Jeff and say, build me a custom 1911.
It is a lot of work.
Well,
and-
that's what I would do.
And if you're not willing to commit to something, because it takes time.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
a-
build something, build an AR-15, they're easy.
Yeah, that's way easier.
Yeah, there's a lot more fitment, and maybe we got to do a 1911 episode. I don't think we've done that yet.
No, we haven't actually.
So that would
I'd
be a
love
good
to be
one.
part of it.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. So cool. Well, thank you very much for
Thank
your time.
you.
Yeah, Custom 1911 builders on
Custom
Facebook.
1911 owners.
Owners, I'm sorry. Custom 1911 owners on Facebook. Check it out. Join it.
Thank you.
And thank you, Steve.
Thanks for hanging, Steve.
All right, we'll be back. We're back with Range-Minded and Independence Indoor Shooting, and we've got the
honey
one
badger.
and the only honey badger here.
Are you still cool with us calling you the Honey Badger?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's just don't
There
want
you
you to be
go.
like, I'm sick of that name.
No, not at all.
I think she's
Absolutely.
embraced the honey badger because she knows. I mean, she knows in her heart. No, she doesn't care. She just gets
I
what,
care.
gets-
I care too much. I think that's where it's
gets
at.
what done. Get done what you need to get done. So
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that Honey Badger didn't care.
I can't
It's
say
just,
what the honey
it's just
badger
Honey
does.
Badger got
Stuff done.
just took care of
So-
it and didn't let anything bother him.
Yeah, Jessica, the Academy Operations Director, responsible for the Vendor Expo too, right?
I did set it on this year, but lots of help from the guys on the range, so getting everything together, and obviously our vendors coming in, they're phenomenal, so helping us out, and our customers coming in. So
Yeah, it's cool to see all these vendors, especially all the ones from like Idaho and from the West that are like here together, and you can see all the cool, Idaho stuff going on here.
That's what I love about this area is the high concentration of pro Second Amendment companies.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a pretty high concentration.
It is. I think compared to anywhere else in the country, it's a very high concentration. So, but let's talk about the Academy and Independent Woman a little bit. Let's start with the Academy. I think there's some new classes coming up, or some classes coming up just in general, right?
yeah, absolutely. So our AR build class is taken off, absolutely. So everybody wants to start building their AR. So
Yeah.
that's been taken off quite a bit.
Awesome.
Putting that class on more than often. And then another class too is our low light stuff. So we're kind of switching some stuff up where customers can come in and shoot low light, where it's not technically a class. And as they're doing that, they want to get more teaching and instruction. So now they're coming to the low light classes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never done a low light
Low
class,
light is
but
awesome.
I need to get on that.
It is a ton of fun.
Yeah, what's the difference between shooting like low light? What's the advantage to taking like a low light class? You can talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So a huge difference. I mean, right? Definitely standing there, you're just shooting paper, you're just doing this and that. In that class, we have you like moving. We have the targets moving. We have different kind of low light effects where it's almost like a sunset setting, and then we do it pitch black and let you use a flashlight. Those that like to use, lasers on their gun, the effects of that, what's good and bad, what they like and dislike, what's going to work for them, especially, for those that are carrying concealed, let's say they're in the parking garages, stuff like that, what's going to work, or those that are just using their gun for home defense, how's that going to work? And it's crazy, they'll get in there, they'll be like, oh yeah, I got this, and then you see them going through and it's like, holy cow, a whole different aspect, and some will completely miss the target, and,
really?
then those that can't shoot during the day, they can completely shoot at night, and I'm like, what is going on? So
That's
it's a lot of
wild.
fun to see the differences.
It is kind of interesting. I think some people think, well, I'll just put the light on my gun and I'm good.
Yes.
But there are some techniques, especially inside a house, so you're not blinding yourself going around the corner or in your decorative mirror or whatever. There's technique.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
those weapon lights can be super bright, and if you shine those on a white wall or something like that in your house, that can reflect back, and your night vision's gone. So that's a lot of probably strategy and technique that you really do have to learn in that class. So
Absolutely.
that's cool. That's taken off, and then AR build class. Obviously, if you want to build your own AR, You can do that. Medical classes are too. There was just one a couple days ago, right?
Yes, we had our first aid class by USCCA, and it was awesome. So we're going to get some more equipment for it. That way there's more hands-on during the class.
Right.
We kind of wanted to see what was going to happen and how we were going to set it up. But now that we've gone through, now we're like, okay, this is what we need, and we're going to get it for the customers. And customers always ask, for certain things, so we want to make sure we're able to help them out. So.
And I think it's important too with first aid that you need to understand if you're making holes, you need to know how to plug those holes up.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen.
Anything,
anything, anywhere.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So we got a lot of classes going on, which is great, especially, it's not just, or it's more than basic pistol, advanced pistol. The low light stuff is super cool. There's carbine classes.
Oh, yeah. We also started some new leagues this year.
Oh, awesome.
So we took on the USPCA league, but it's not the sanctioned leagues. We're just doing kind of the outlaw stuff, helping out with that. And not next week, but the week after, we're getting that started. So that should be pretty fun. I think October 8th. That's a Tuesday.
Cool.
$15. Come in, do 2 stages. Might as well practice while you got the time. So come in and shoot. Have a good time.
The time and the space.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of, summer's kind of, coming to an end, and I think everybody's kind of had a crazy summer. I did a lot of traveling. It seems like you did a little bit of traveling too.
A little bit, yes. Had a good time.
Yeah, and so now it's time to get back into the range and get back to training and all that kind of stuff. So and the competitions, honestly, I could say are a phenomenal way to keep those skills up and to kind of hone your skills for sure.
Absolutely, so. My skills improved. I used to shoot USPSA, and I saw my acquisition times and split times. It totally changes from a class to actually competition, and I grew immensely doing that. It was way better than any of the classes I had taken, and tried to remember until I implemented what I learned.
Yeah,
I think that's so good if you can only do competition shooting or just an idea of competition, and then also do defensive, shooting. There's different aspects depending on what you're looking for, but all of it's marksmanship. It's just a matter of where you're going to take your shooting. So.
Yeah, and that's the other cool part about the shooting sports is that you can, whatever you're interested in, you can go down that avenue as far as you want.
Absolutely.
And here at Independence, you can do that as well.
Even hunting. We offer multiple hunting classes, stuff like that. So, really anything you can think of, we're trying to offer, and if we don't offer it, tell me so I can put it on.
Yeah, talk to Jessica. She's great about that. Also great independent woman. We'll talk to Shay, who is a member of the Independent Woman as well, to get kind of a first-hand account. But why don't you tell us, kind of give us a little bit of an overview of that.
So this year we switched it up. We made it more an exclusive club. So before we had 82 ladies, and with 82 ladies it was absolutely great, but at the same time we want to make sure that every lady is getting the proper training they need to reach their firearm goals.
Yeah.
So we narrowed it down to 28 ladies. So 28 out of 82, and the first 28 that were able to come in and do it and help and volunteer and actually want to, partake in the Independent Woman and what we're all about, they signed up and we approved them, and now it's kind of a VIP exclusive club. So not open to everybody. We definitely switched it up where they're working on a lot of different techniques. This year we've added movement and no-shoot scenarios, different stuff like that, whereas compared, we were just kind of working on the basic fundamentals, which we always are, but now we're kind of pressing the ladies past their limits and getting them into something.
Which is good, because that's when you start really learning.
Absolutely, and not just firearm goals, but we talked about situational awareness. What do you do if you don't have your gun? How can you use, different tools around you to defend yourself? And so a lot of different options there, where before we were kind of, the curriculum-wise, we were, staying to that. This one, now we're asking the ladies' opinions on what they want, and then we're adding to that. And it's more one-on-one time compared to before, just kind of running a class. Now I'm able to sit there, give you certain drills, or give them, hey, you're going to do this, this, and this. Let's see where you are, and get those suggestions.
That's awesome. So then in the spring maybe, or later in the future, are you going to be able to open it up to maybe ladies who want to try to get in on it, or is it going to be a waiting list kind of thing?
So So far, we have a waiting list. So they run in 3-month sessions right now. So December is going to be our off month, and then it starts back up. So there is a waiting list so far, but we'll see how that works itself out when we get to that point. So.
Well, and you are a phenomenal teacher. Sarah's a phenomenal teacher. So you guys, any class with you'd be in good hands.
Yeah, we're even bringing in guest instructors. So
awesome.
It's pretty exciting. They don't know who yet; it's secret. But
it's a surprise.
Yes.
Well, and talk about just real quick the benefit of it being kind of ladies only. I think that's a really great way for people who are maybe haven't shot before, haven't shot a lot, to really get the instruction that they need in a good environment. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just the friendships that have been created during it. Ladies wanting to shoot, learning to shoot, things that work for them, things that don't work for them, and we can't necessarily talk about certain things in front of men that we can in front of ladies.
Well, we don't. It's a different ball game. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when we're in there, a lot of the comments or things that we go over is kind of make sure the doors are closed, and we can show or we can demonstrate, and then we can also talk about, hey, my shirt this, or my bra that, or my pants this. Where if there was a co-ed class, they wouldn't be as open to be asking those questions.
And some guys tend to be jerks.
You never know. There's good guys out there, but then you have some guys where we just are closing the door on you.
It's just easier not to. I don't disagree with that at all.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Independent Woman. Earlier in the year and a little bit last year, I had the pleasure of being able to RSO and see, the progression and the skills and the confidence grow of the members and stuff. And I attribute that to you and Sarah a ton. So, if you're interested in the Independent Woman at all, you might have to wait a little bit, but I think it's totally worth the wait. How can folks get a hold of you?
So they can get a hold of me. Best way is email, just jessica@iishooting.com, or always come into the store, but best way is through email. They're the confidence and the comfort level that they've gained, and a lot of them are shooting pretty well, where now I'm really pushing them, and
awesome.
I'm like, all right, you're almost at my level, so I'm pretty excited.
Giving you a run for your money.
Which is totally, that's what I want for every single one of them.
Yeah,
so.
And if you're interested in any kind of classes, maybe basic pistol, first shots, that's actually a really good thing too. Talk about first shots a little bit, because I think you probably deal with a lot of new shooters, and I think that first shots class is a really good way of learning and really starting your firearms journey. Can you talk about that a little?
First shots is it's 1 to 3 hours depending on our customers, and it's only $35, and you are getting the education on firearms, and you're actually shooting during that class. You'll shoot 22 calibers, but if you're brand new to shooting, or you haven't touched a gun in so many years and you're just ready to come in and get that journey started again, that is an awesome class to start off with, is first shots. Or if you're not ready to shoot whatsoever yet, you can also take our new shooter orientation. They both kind of go hand in hand, but the first shots class, it's phenomenal. You'll definitely learn a lot in it, but you also get to shoot at the end. And then after that class, if you're wanting to continue your journey, you move to basic pistol. That way you can get more hands-on and learning, and we start giving you different suggestions on what works for you. So
that's one thing I really like about the Academy is we can teach at any level in your progression, wherever you want to be or wherever you're starting from. I think some people get the misconception if they haven't shot yet, they have to jump right into a concealed carry class, and then they're going to be worried about being overwhelmed. But we don't teach that way.
Right.
We go to where you're starting from, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before on the podcast where, that first impression and being a good steward of the Second Amendment and of the shooting sports, first impressions, last a long time. We did a whole episode on safety and taking a new shooter to the range, and I think that first shots or the new shooter orientation is a great foundation to start. So even if maybe you have been around guns for a while and you have somebody who's a new shooter, there's nothing wrong with taking that basic pistol class, or even the first shots or the new shooter orientation too, because like you said, Jessica, can't go over the basics enough.
No, I do that all the time. All the time.
Yeah, so
they're the essentials.
Well, we'll let you go. I know you're busy today, so I appreciate the time, and we'll have you on again sometime soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, Jess. All right, we're back with range-minded Independence Indoor Shooting with a very special guest.
It was like pulling teeth.
It was definitely some teeth pulled here.
Here he is, Big Mike.
How's it going, guys?
Tell everybody what you do here at Independence.
Oh man, a little bit of everything. My RSO some days. I, work on the retail floor, helping people, educating them on firearms, different ones, whatever. A lot of the times, the people come in and they already know what they want.
Sure.
So it's just more or less putting guns in their hand and figuring out what they like, what they want.
And if you're a regular, you know who Mike is.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Mikey.
He's taller. He's got a beard. You can't miss him. Big, friendly dude.
And he's a lot of fun.
So real quick, I know you got to get back to helping with customers and stuff. You're a busy man because you're kind of running the place today too.
Kind of a big deal.
Trying to.
What's your favorite part about working at a gun shop?
The people. Most of the time they come in, they want to talk about guns. They want to talk about what's going on and what new stuff is coming in. What kind of cool toys do we have today? And, we try to point them in the right direction. But that's like my favorite part is just talking to people about guns and educating people or getting educated from people, because a lot of people come in and they tell you something new about the new gun that we haven't even got in yet. They're like, oh, hey, have you heard about this one? And so they'll even educate me. So that's kind of the cool thing about this job.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you're a heck of a salesman too, because you got me on this Holosun here with this gold dot or whatever, because I've been looking for a red dot for my Scorpion, and might have to go try this out later today.
Yeah.
So, because you are a wealth of knowledge, you know a lot about guns, and not only guns but optics and accessories and all that kind of stuff. Where do you go to kind of learn all that stuff?
Like I said, the customers come in, they've already YouTubed it or whatever. They've pulled their knowledge from like the internet, and then just from personal experience, or people that work here, other employees. A lot of our reps come in and they kind of give us their 2 cents on their product as well, and so I just kind of try to pull from everybody and everything. I go home and I'll watch YouTube videos as well, Mac or Demo, guys like that they aren't getting paid to do it, and they give you or Hickok 45. Those guys, they do it for the passion of it. They don't have that paid advertisement. They're just, if the gun sucks, they'll tell you. If it's awesome, they'll tell you. And so I try to have that same opinion where, I like my guns, you like your guns, and we'll have that mutual agreement that, we like guns.
Yeah, and that's what I think that makes you good on the retail side too, is that you don't bash other people's opinions, and you won't find anybody at Independence who does that or whatever.
He bashes my opinions.
Well, that's because you suck.
Yeah, it's Steve. I mean, I have to.
Thank you.
But no, you're always a great resource, and you do like to listen and all that, and you need to come see Mikey and buy a gun and some accessories from him.
Yeah.
So we'll let you get back to it, but we just wanted to put a voice to the name and everything.
Appreciate it, man.
So come see Mikey at Independence, and he'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Word.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mikey.
Yeah.
We'll be back. And we're back with Range Minded from Independence Indoor Shooting, another member of the Independence staff, Chandler.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good now.
Awesome.
Sold probably 4 guns already.
Really?
Within 2 hours.
Man.
Now, buying them doesn't
within
count
an hour.
doesn't count as selling them at the same time.
Okay, then probably 1 gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chandler is one of the newest members of the Independence staff, right? How long have you been here with us?
Not even my 90 days. I'm still on probation.
Look at his eyes. He's like looking around
Still wide-eyed, yeah.
trying to take this all in.
Yeah, he's got to get a name tag that says FNG. You were joking earlier. The effing new guy.
Yeah, I told Levi he's got to make me one, but he still hasn't done it.
Well, that's all right. He's busy. He's got a laundry list of things to do. So, I thought it'd be fun to bring you on the podcast because obviously this is your first job in the firearms industry, right?
Yes, it is.
What do you think so far?
Oh, I love it.
It's a lot of fun, huh?
I've honestly been involved in firearms for less than a year, and I mean, I've already learned so much. I'm learning something new every day. It's pretty awesome.
So, what got you into firearms in the first place?
You know what? I was a LA city boy.
Oh,
who
really?
Moved out here about 4 years ago, and I grew up with anti-gun parents.
Okay.
So that right off the bat got me interested. So I moved out here, and once I turned 21, saved up money and bought my Glock 19.
Okay.
And that was my first purchase.
Wow, Steve's obviously very proud of you for getting that. He's a Glock fanboy, that's all. Steve's got about 75 Glocks.
I own other firearms as well. It's not like I'm exclusively Glock.
I own other Glocks, too.
I just prefer to buy things that work.
Well, that's why I buy Walthers. authors.
I couldn't agree more.
So you got the Glock 19. Is that still your one gun owner, or are you still working on some more? Or?
Oh, no, I got 4 already.
Oh, wow, there we go. See, he caught the bug, yeah.
Doesn't take long.
Less than a year, I'm already up to 4. I got 2 ARs and 2 Glocks.
Nice, man. So what kind of, after, getting your first gun, what made you want to get into it more and get a job with the firearms industry?
I mean, it's just a interesting atmosphere to be in, because you'll get guys who joke around, and then you get guys who are just complete lunatics, be crazy, but in all, once you actually get involved in the gun community, it's very welcoming. People are willing to teach you a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also this whole modern day atmosphere about it, how guns are bad and evil, and so a lot of that stuff kind of got me into it. I've done debates on it. I've done debates in the middle of Boise State, talking about how, what was it? As of 2012, FBI statistics, 97% of all violent crime, aka using a weapon, was involved with a illegally obtained firearm.
Right.
And so it's kind of just being able to teach someone about firearms, which I actually got to do the other day.
Yeah.
Someone who's completely traumatized by a firearm, brought it into the house. I got to show her and got to teach her a little bit about it. And she's actually coming out here to shoot pretty soon.
Awesome, man. Well, that's great news.
Was there something that you expected that isn't quite what you thought it would be once you got here?
I was hoping guns would be cheaper so I could buy more.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What about, so do your parents, do they still live in California then? Or?
Yeah, they're still in California.
Okay, and do they know of your newest hobby? And
they only know of my 2 handguns.
What do they think?
My mom, not a fan. My dad's okay.
Sure.
I'm getting him to come around and buy a handgun for the house.
Trying to turn the corner a little bit.
Yeah. I'm slowly turning him.
Sure.
But both of them still don't know I own 2 AR-15s, so I'm keeping that way.
Well, tell them not to listen, so otherwise they'll find out. So
yeah, might get their suspicion of Mom and Dad. I was on a podcast, but do not listen to it.
Just don't listen to it. Trust me. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting story, man. Do you think that you'll ever turn both your parents help them turn the corner a little bit, or?
My mom, no. Mom will never turn. She was a paramedic that covered Compton during all the LA riots. Worked in the trauma center that, again, covered downtown LA, covered Compton.
Yeah.
Covered all those areas. So day in, day out, she saw gunshot victims. And so she's seen nothing but the after effects of getting shot.
Sure.
And so she will never turn. She will never support firearms.
Sure.
She supports the right of the people to own firearms, but she will never own one.
Sure.
My dad will definitely come around.
Well, we've talked about that on the podcast before about, you don't necessarily have to own one to be a supporter of the Second Amendment. Maybe you're not comfortable, or maybe there's people who probably shouldn't have them. We've talked about that extensively, and you see that in the firearms industry sometimes. You see people walk into the shop, and it's like,
more often than, I mean, not all the time, but more often than I'd like to see. Yeah. But there's people just like, you probably not.
Yeah. So, but as long, so I support people who choose not to own a firearm, but they support the Second Amendment. So that's a good thing. So,
and I think that's fair.
Yeah. Well, that's a hell of a story, man. I had no idea. That's pretty cool. So, because Chandler and I know each other from another life too. So yeah. But cool, man. Well, so where do you think that your firearms journey is going to take you next, or where would you like to take the next step?
Honestly, I want to get into some training, some academies, and get certified to be an instructor.
Awesome.
I think that would be a lot of fun to go through a lot of courses, get some actual training instead of, what the other guys try and put me through just to torture me, see how I'll fail.
Sure. Well, you got no better place to take some classes than here. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to get time to do so.
Yeah. So, well, cool, Chandler. Thank you. We'll let you get back to selling guns.
Yeah.
And
sell more.
We'll have you on again sometime soon.
Get back to work.
Yes, sir.
Wow, geez, Steve. Go easy on the new guy, will you?
Okay, sorry.
All right, thanks, Chandler. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
We'll be back. All right, we're back with Independence Indoor Shooting's Range Minded. My name is Mark Long, and I'm joined by...
Yeah, Steve Zimmerman.
We never introduced ourselves at the beginning.
They should know who we are by now.
Yeah, well, we got somebody new. We got another Steve, too, actually, so...
Only the important people are named Steve.
Yeah, we got a lot of Steves here lately for some reason. I don't know what that is. So,
popular name.
But Steve from Rhino Ironworks, how's it going, man?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're at the Vendor Expo again, fall of 2019. A lot of stuff going on. Rhino, fantastic safes, man.
Yeah, it's going really well. We always try to talk about some of the new things that are coming out. Last year was the swing out rack, and year before that, of course, the Ironworks series and some of the other unique items that we built. But this year, I think we've kind of hit a new item, and it's the nightstand. So basically, it's a safe built into a piece of furniture, where you can store your valuables in a small little area next to your bed, but it still looks like a piece of furniture. It's got a tabletop. It's got a top drawer on it. Has some power, some electricity to it. So kind of covers all the bases.
It's got power inside the safe.
It's got power. Oh, well, it's actually outside.
So you can plug
on the back end. So you can still plug your lights and your
phone in and everything.
That's awesome. I didn't notice that on that little thing.
Yeah, it's on the back end.
And it looks like a nightstand.
Beautiful nightstand. So it's got that rustic antique look to it, distressed. And we came out with it this year, and it's done probably way more than we thought it was going to be honest with you. And I think people like that ability to put something in their house that doesn't really look like a safe, but it is a safe. And it just has that antique look. Women like it. The men like it. It has a little pocket on the inside for a pistol.
Oh, there you go.
So that's pretty neat. And then we're looking at maybe doing some additional furniture pieces like to complement, maybe like a coffee table where you can hide an AR or a long range
that'd be freaking
long
cool.
gun inside of there.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like just a regular coffee table.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're working towards now, because we're seeing that. I mean, this thing right here was so popular that we have dealers constantly asking for it.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? I think there's a lot of that popularity of the obscurity. People kind of find security through obscurity. I'm a big proponent of that. If they don't know where to look, if a burglar doesn't know where to look or somebody, then they're not going to even bother looking there. You know what I mean? But why do you think it's so popular for people?
I think one of the things is price point. When you look at safes and where they're priced at, it's definitely something you got to consider and think about before you make your purchase. Where they're small enough that the price point's just about right. You can load it in the back of your car and go home and put it in there. It's a nice, and it mirrors both men and women. It's got what men want as far as that pistol pocket where they can put it in theirs. I got one next to my bed, and my girlfriend's got one next to hers. So, I mean, it complements both sides of the coin. And I think it's got fire rating. It's DOJ approved. So it's not just a little locking cabinet. It is a safe.
It's a full-blown safe.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of desirable points to it. And then nobody else in the industry is making anything like it. We're the first to do it.
You guys are the only ones.
So we're kind of hitting the new market. It's a new item type of deal. And
awesome.
I think, like I said, everybody I've talked to, when I mentioned doing a coffee table, they're just like, wow, that would even be better. I mean, the nightstand, end tables in the bedroom, and then you've got a coffee table or maybe even a foot chest at the end of the bed where you can put some stuff and that obscurity, being able to hide something in plain sight. And with what's going on now, where people are really pushing to, if you own a gun, have some way to lock it up and keep it away from the kids. That's also a big thing for us.
Yeah, we've talked about balancing the security and the security and accessibility. Because if you have to defend your home or defend anything, but your gun's in a safe that you can't access very quickly, then what's the whole point? But then on the flip side of it, if it's too accessible, then anybody can get to it or anybody can find it, and then you're in a whole world of trouble that way. But you guys seem to be on the innovative edge of things. Like you said last year with the swing out safe for the convenience of that, and really saving some space in a safe, because as Steve well knows, you run out of space in a safe very quickly.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So are you guys just always thinking about what's kind of new and what's next, what you can do better? Or?
Yeah, the owners actually pushes for that, especially with our engineers. What things, just new items, because I think that's what's going to keep us relevant in the market.
Absolutely.
The safe market's pretty consistent. It's a metal box with we all use some of the same. The techniques and the secure RAM locks and all. They're all the same. So you've got to think something different. The paint only goes so far. But yeah, we're constantly trying to, and part of it is feedback from you guys. Hey, customers come in and this is what they're asking me for. We keep hearing that. Well, there's a market for it, right?
Right.
So we got to start developing to solve that problem. And that was like with the swing out rack. People hated having to go through a bunch of guns to get to the ones in the back. Hey, let's create a way to get to those guns in the back without causing any issue with the guns in the front.
Right.
So just trying to fill that need, but also come up with something unique and things that, we're guys, we like to see cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing the toolboxes too. Are you guys still making the toolboxes?
Yeah, we're doing. We still do the toolboxes, tool chest. Still doing the furniture. Furniture's been a little different because that's a different market from what we're used to. And then in the current climate, we're looking at maybe doing some imported furniture because that seems to be what all the furniture market does. However, right now it's just not probably the right time. We need to wait till the dust settles and see what's going to happen going forward before we go down that road. But yeah, there's some unique items that we can create.
That's one thing I really like about Rhino. Is because it's not just. I mean, I can just buy a safe anyway. I can go online and buy a safe.
Correct.
But with your stuff, like you say, it's furniture grade looking on the outside. It's effective and efficient use of space on the inside. And I know my stuff's not going to get broken into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you got a safe that's big enough, it does become like a showpiece. Like we're sitting next to this beautiful pinstripe, blue one.
Oh yeah, the blue.
It's like
Boise State blue safe.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean, you could have that in your living room or in a main area, and people know it's there, but it's going to be a centerpiece.
Yeah.
And
the other thing we added this year, and I almost forgot to mention, and it's not a new item to the market, but it's a new item the way we present it. So that Ironworks riveted antique looking safe we now do a vault door. So for people who are building vault rooms, which has become a big thing too, so originally the owner thought we'd sell 3 a year, and I kind of laughed at it. I said, we need to develop this. It's going to do well.
Yeah.
And I'd say we probably sold close to 30 in the first year.
That's
and
awesome.
that's without any really big marketing. I mean, it's in the catalog now and stuff, but I mean, people see that and they're just like, I want it. It's like no questions asked.
Well, then you're not really, you can have a gun room instead of just a gun safe.
Well, and the way we designed this, we designed it as a thicker model. So in other words, it's got a plate door. I mean, it is a nice vault door.
Yeah.
But when you go inside, you can actually lock yourself into it like a panic room.
Oh, wow.
So have you guys ever seen the Purge?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Purge? And they go in that little panic room? Well, this could work as a panic room. If there's a Purge, you can lock yourself in here with all your guns in your vault room, and nobody can get in. And even if they have the combination, you override that from the inside.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool feature. I think people like that when they hear that.
You can't get just locked in.
You can't get locked in. You can, somebody can lock you in there, and you can get your way out pretty easily.
Do you guys install those doors too, or?
We don't do the installations,
Okay.
But it's a pretty simple design. It's a clamshell design.
Okay.
So anybody with any kind of understanding of what they're doing, especially if it's a contractor, most of these are going into homes that are getting built or something to that effect. They're building this vault room.
Yeah.
The contractor pretty much knows how to install all that stuff.
Sure.
So, but they're a beast. Everyone I've sold one to, when they get one, goes, oh my God, that thing was beautiful in person. They see the picture, but when they see it in person, it's 80 inches tall. It's pretty impressive.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Man, you guys you really are on like the cutting edge of everything, man. But that's how you do it. And everything's made in the USA and everything.
It
right?
is. Oh yeah, our Ironworks series proudly made here.
Yeah, that's important.
They're in Caldwell, Idaho. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, there's like we were talking about earlier. We're blessed to have, we'll lump you in with the firearms guys too, but we're blessed to have so many different manufacturers and a lot of innovators here in the Treasure Valley. So
well, and we all support that same principle.
Sure.
I mean, everybody talks about that, but it really isn't so much about us doing different things, but doing things together in the same community for the same people who want to, protect themselves and have firearms and be able to use them and come to a range like here. I mean, this is an awesome opportunity for people to be owners, but not just sit their guns in their closets. They can come out here around the corner from their house and shoot and then go home, have a sandwich, have a beer or whatever.
Exactly. Right. So, well, Steve, thanks so much for spending some time with us. Excited about, I got to look that stuff up now. I got to get a vault door.
Check that vault door out.
I'm sure I'm going to be talking to you about a vault door too.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because you're going to need a gun room sooner or later.
Right.
No, because I keep losing them in the river.
Well, you'll need something sooner or later.
Make a submarine.
Not yet.
Yeah, Steve.
Get a couple more people asking for it, and we can probably work on that design.
Get the gun submarine. There we go. Then you can never lose them.
Oh, then the ATF can find them there too, I guess.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you, Steve. We'll have you on next time.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Range Minded. Find us online at Range Minded Podcast on Facebook or send us an email at podcast@iishooting.com. We're always happy to get feedback, episode suggestions, whatever you want to send us, really. And be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and pretty much wherever else you get your podcasts from. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.